Morning, Kate. Wake up.
Oh dear.
I like it really crisp.
Mashed marble sauce. I think it's the last Carlsberg special that did it to me.
Oh, no.
Is it you?
Okay. Do myself an egg.
The one I did wasn't burnt in it.
I like burnt ones.
Please remember, Fox, it always likes an egg burnt.
Go.
It was all badly moaning, but I got there all right, and I'm all right there.
See you anyway. Yeah, cheers. Right.
Not only is this a unique theatre company from the point of view for what it does, that it travels the canals, it takes theatre to pubs that are in the middle of nowhere, you know. Not only that, but you have something in which you can immediately feel settled. You have a philosophy and a real way of life, and it's a real boost to come and work for something like that. I shouldn't think you even get that in things like the Royal Shakespeare Company.
They call me water gypsy, they call me bargee, but they've got it wrong, me friends, 'cause I'm a boatie. Yes, I'm a boatie.
I've got a hangover now. We get up, well, it depends. It depends whether we've got to move a long way. And when we haven't got too bad a day, we start at 9, and then someone makes breakfast, and then someone else washes up breakfast.
They call me water gypsy, they call me bargee, but they've got it wrong, me friends, 'cause I'm a boatie. Yes, I'm a boatie.
It's very hard just to describe it. I mean, I'm sure it's much better to see it, because describing it is just like any other routine, it sounds like, but it's not actually like that, mainly because you pass through beautiful places on the way. I mean, I just love the countryside and passing through it. It sounds terribly cliche, actually, but I do.
From dawn till dusk and all through the night, the only company is my headlight. Past 14 pairs along the way, the locks are ready and it's a good day. They call me water gypsy, they call me bargee, but they've got it wrong, me friends, 'cause I'm a boatie. Yes, I'm a boatie.
One day I was shaving and I suddenly went, Eureka, got an idea. Why don't we get a boat and take it and we'll go along the canals and we'll perform somewhere to all these people who've been dying to see theatre and have never seen it in their lives. Isn't this wonderful?
They call me water gypsy, they call me bargee, but they've got it wrong, me friends, 'cause I'm a boatie. Yes, I'm a boatie.
Mikron Theatre Company, performing at Week tonight. Want to take a lead, please?
A bit nicer where we do our show.
Go for either.
Right. Yeah, right.
That's right, yes.
Oh, really happy.
There's no better way. Tip your hat, give us a grin and live for today. Smile, be happy. There's no better way. Tip your hat, give us a grin and live for today. Till the dark clouds roll away.
What attracted me really was not just that it was an equity car, but also that I came from Halifax originally. This took me back up to the north, which is a nice way of doing it. I'd been on boating holidays and things. My father's got a boat, so I knew a bit about canals. But even so, it was a bit of a shock when I arrived and discovered how little I actually knew.
I was working as a painter and decorator at the time. I mean, we all went round the back of this pub with me dad, and he took some photographs of me and me painting gear up the wall, and we could do all this sort of thing like that. And apparently, I sent all this off to Mikron, and Mike and Sarah looked at it and threw it away. Well, what an idiot! This must be a real prat, so they chucked it away. But then apparently they ran out of people to interview and went and dredged through the rest. And I went up to Marston and got the job, as they say.
was a wonderful ride. The big snowy mountains rose above them in every direction.
On the boat I do work. Some of it's given to me by the school, and then all the other people on the boat teach me different things. Some are nicer than others. Some years people are all right, and then other years they don't really like you.
That's nothing.
Oh, no. That's just practice.
Right.
We got an order.
Mike, Sarah.
No, it's me.
No, it's not.
Nearest.
Oh, sorry.
You stupid.
Have a doubt, missing.
There's a stem here.
Oh, better.
That's
That's what I meant to do.
Come on, you've got to get
37.
that.
37.
37
or less.
Like 37.
Right, thank you.
37. What a terrible start. Arnhem Landing of us.
Yay. 21.
Well, I had the idea, actually, a long time ago, to do a show about the story of a narrowboat. And it wasn't until somebody said that, well, there's a bloke called Alan Brooks, who lives at Long Buckby, who, in fact, was involved with Tyseley for the first 20 years of Tyseley's life. It was then suddenly we thought, well, why do anybody else's boat but our own? Let's tell the story of Tyseley, because, the first 20 years are going to be interesting, nothing else. And that's when we went to see Alan Brooks in the winter. And that's really what started this whole idea of the Tyseley show, the still carrying show off, was meeting him. Oh. Alan Brooks.
That's right. Mikron Theatre.
That's us, yeah.
Company.
Oh, thanks, lovely.
Thank you very much.
Right, thank you.
On the phone I told you, didn't I, what we were up to, that we're going to be doing this show.
Yes.
About Tyseley.
Yes.
When did actually you get involved with the Tyseley then?
March the 23rd, 1937. We walked along the towpath, looking to see whether these boats were coming.
What, you and your dad?
Yes. Every day. And sure enough, there was Mr. Goddard and his son Jim with a Tyseley.
Oh, look.
You see?
That's not Tyseley there, is it?
Northampton, yes. Yes.
No.
Well, that lump of wood, they're having fun with that. Well, of course, there was no problem when we were down the East India docks. I just picked it out, washed the rubbish off it and planked it in. Well, of course, when we get to Northampton, all they've got is a nice little hand crane. 2 men with a crosscut cut it in half.
How long did it take them to do that then?
She always did have a habit of getting where she's supposed to be.
Goodness me, look. Mikron being lifted round Blissworth.
That picture.
You've kept this, Alan.
I didn't realise you'd got that.
I've got it in my
So we
scrapbook.
didn't know that you were following us at this time, did we?
Well, I was following you and the boat as well.
We ended up with about sort of 24, 25 hours of tapes, which we then had to decide what we were going to use from that and how we were going to form it into a show. So we covered the whole of the history of Tyseley. We were seeing people who had owned her in recent years as well. People like Keith Christie and Midland Canal Transport and things like this. And, of course, that's interesting because today, Midland Canal Transport, who never actually managed to carry anything the whole of their existence, and this comes out in the show, now, many years after they've sort of stopped even bothering, have now got a load. I don't know how many tons they've got on each. I'll be interested to see when they arrive.
Last run, I asked you last run. They hadn't even bothered telling anyone. At least not them who was most concerned, like me boss and me. You'd think that I'd earned that little bit of courtesy with me years of hard work and loyalty. But some reporter telling me it's your last run. Last run, I asked you last run. That photo bloke, he thought it was a bit of fun. He said, now come out and smile. I said, me mate.
we had these boats, and they're working boats, and working boats ought to be worked. I'm a quantity surveyor as a living, but, you know, we carry when we can.
I'm sorry to put out before you. It's almost convincing seeing those boats coming along, you know. I almost look like sort of, you know, Joe Skinner or somebody.
Not real boats, you know.
Takes you back 25 years, doesn't
Yeah.
Mark, what are you cooking us?
What am I cooking you? I'm cooking you top side of beef. Top side of beef with little peas. And sauté potatoes, which I'm just putting on the heat to sauté. And wine!
It's coming on very nicely.
Right, here we are, the new Inn Buckby Wall.
Yeah.
There's various people coming, various people, Nolan Reen James, Ronnie Green, Henry Grantham. And we're all feeling a bit nervous about tonight. Well, I am. What about you lot?
Was Alan in when we went past?
No, I don't think so.
No, do you remember how to go to the hospital about his neck?
Yeah.
And he wasn't going to be back.
So, anyway, we're all going to be brilliant tonight, aren't we?
Ladies and gentlemen, just before we start, can I just have a quick word? Could you, please ignore these television people and just enjoy the show as normal? Just take no notice of them whatsoever. We're trying to act normal. Yes,
Throwing money and flowers.
Whatever problems there might be, the show goes on. The show had to go on. And for a travelling Canal theatre group, that meant lifting their 72-foot boat over the closed Blissworth Tunnel.
The fact that this is the group's 10th season on the waterways is a measure of their success. They navigate the canals and rivers of Britain in Tyseley, an old working narrowboat.
See, what did I always used to tell you? Tyseley will do the job, she'll get through. She always does.
She's still doing it, isn't she?
Hey, do you remember that funny loaded timber we had with Tyseley?
What, that huge log?
40 foot long, do you remember?
I remember the red faces of those men as they sawed it in half.
It's the only way they could get it out. Took them all morning. It's funny to think of her now, isn't it? Up there in the air, suspended. Hey, we never thought of that, did we? Lifting them round.
I always used to steer through the tunnels.
I shall have to look out for them when they pass by this way. Give them a wave.
Alan, how old were you when your dad first had Tyseley?
Oh, must have been 14. And that were a game. Looking out for her. See her, Dad? I can see her.
Well, there's something coming, ah.
Listen. Can't hardly hear it through the mist.
That's it. Ratches her down, that's it.
Hey, she swims, Dad, though. She does swim.
Well, you can't tell from here. It's a good solid boat, though.
Hey there, over here!
You'll be swimming in all if you don't stop that jigging.
Hey, Dad, there's two of them.
Of course there's two. Jim's on one, Goddard's on the other. Now then, Goddard.
What's she say, Dad?
Which one's best, you reckon? You've had no trouble with that one? Oh, well, we'll have it then.
Her name, Dad. What's her name?
Oh, her name. Goddard, her name. Hey, Tyseley. She's the Tyseley. Off and tell you ma.
But Dad, I want
Off and tell you ma now. Oh, Alan. Tell her she swims. Another boat to steer. Young Alan's face when she came up here. When I were a lad, I were just the same, counting the days till the new boat came. And now at last she's here, and now at last she's here. Days we've been waiting for a boat to come this way, and now at last we've seen her. The Tyseley came today. Days we've been waiting for a boat to come this way, and now at last we've seen her. The Tyseley came today. You up, Mother? Elsie! Alan!
Dad, can I pull the compression lever for you?
Son, I've managed a good few years with this bit of string from me foot to the lever. Just you be glad of your 2 hands when you have to start it.
Past 6 pairs yesterday, Dad. Didn't see Frankie, though. You think we'll catch him all?
Baby! Burning him tonight. I've a mind to do 21 in an hour and a half. You got that, Alan? We'll eat in the 10-mile pan, Mother. I reckon we're only a few minutes behind Frankie, so he'll be keeping up with me by Catley Bar. Off at 4:30. So get moving, son. Let's catch Frankie.
Come on, get them brushes polished. I want to be able to see me face, you know.
Alan, I thought you were... Oh, you daft bugger. I thought you were... What are you doing here? I was expecting to see you till next week.
Oh, we've been held up, haven't we, waiting to unload? You're looking very nice.
We'll be married soon.
Sooner, within the year. It's the best pay on the cut, this beer run. We're getting nearly 20 quid a week.
Between you all, though.
Yeah, I'm still able to save. We'll be married within the year.
We'll have our own pair then, eh?
Yeah. Mind you, I may not be able to get married.
What do you mean?
Oh, Miss Tyseley too much.
I heard the news today. They're now calling the cut a waterway. I can't keep up with these changes now, but it really doesn't matter anyhow. 'Cause I'm on the land to stay, I'm on the land to stay. I've always been a boatie from street to #1. Now Alan stopped the Tyseley. I hope he'll carry on.
You can find out, if he does, in 10 minutes when we're taking a break. Thank you.
Lovely. It is really good. Yes, yes, yes. No kidding.
Well, it is genuine, and I think the young fella that played Mr. Jack Brooks is more genuine in his tone of voice now to the boaties than what we are now. Yeah, he is good.
Hardy, the Badfield, had the Tyseley for a change boat. We had the Banstead for a change boat.
I was born here at Long Butley, outside the pub. Left when I was 12 years to 14 because Mother had a weak heart. And then I got married at 17 and a half and came back. And was on till when? Till our son was... Yeah, until our son was coming up for school age, and we thought we'd let him have an education so that he had a choice. Because we felt we didn't have a choice, we had to stay with our parents.
Well, where's the bloke who played the old boy? Where's the bloke who played Dad? He can put it across.
Oh, losing an old friend, that's what it feels like.
Funny to leave it tied up at Bullsbridge, come all the way back up to Brownston without it. Clean break though, no fussing, that's the best. Don't they go fast, them trains? Alan, you know why we've done it, you know all that.
Like rats leaving a sinking ship.
Sometimes I think all I'm fit for off the boats is cleaning.
You talk more rubbish, woman, than I could in a month moping about the cut. You work harder in a year than any secretary could in a lifetime, and don't you forget it. Don't you forget it. We'll be all right.
Yeah, I reckon.
Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Christie, Keith, isn't it?
Yes. And you're
a bank manager. Now, you've come about another loan. £200, is it?
Well, actually,
no.
No.
Just as well. Your account's looking distinctly
I need £400.
£400? Well, what is it for this time, Mr. Christie?
Well, I want to buy a working narrowboat. She used to work with British Waterways. She's got a reconditioned engine. She's fully rigged, and she's called Tyseley.
Thomas carrying was dead, but we just laughed and bought their boats instead. We had a hope, a mighty dream, to build a Midlands carrying team. MCT. We have a carrying kind, and I think you'll find never gonna try, never gonna try.
Alan Brooks?
Yeah, you must be the theatre people, I expect.
I think I told you on the phone that we were planning to tell the tale of Tyseley, which was your boat for many years, wasn't she?
There's not much to tell. I still follow her, though. I've got the paper here with a photo of her being lifted round Blissworth Tunnel. I said to Margaret at the time, I said, look, you see, Tyseley, she'll always get through. I remember me and my dad going out every day to look for Tyseley. For her to come from Northwich. We'd walk along the towpath until we've had a good long straight to see if I could see anything coming.
Still carrying on. All the boats are leaving now. It's sad to see them gone. Still carrying, still carrying, still carrying on. All the boats are leaving now, but the Tyseley's swimming on.
Fantastic. Just amazing. I mean, the thing was that it was the people that really mattered came last night. The boat people who we based our story on.
All the boats are leaving now, but the Tyseley's swimming on.
The people sitting behind me, actually, who knew nothing about canals, actually.
They're the people who gave us the standing ovation.
They were whooping and yelling and
Yeah.
crying and laughing all the way through, and they understood everything that was going on.
They said, I now know what a butty is. They never even knew what a butty boat was or anything. So I could follow it, they said, very clearly. Understood what it was about. And that's important as well, because most of the time we're not performing to boat people. We're performing to the general public. And it's got to be comprehensible to them and make them moved as well as the boat people.
I'd like to say that without a lot of people, some of whom are here this evening, I won't say who they are, but there's a lot of people who this show would never have been possible. But there are a few people scattered about this audience tonight who are very important to us. And so, thank you.
Yes, I think we're going to keep going. Yes, I mean, you can't just give up something like this, can you? Which has become, it's become a way of life for us. I mean, we've been doing it for 12 years now. I think, I think maybe it's possible that we might even be missed if we stopped. It's possible, I'm not sure.
Sailing by with the wind in my eye, my young girl beside me, the sun in the sky. Boating's a pleasure, the carts are a treasure. This new form of leisure is the finest you can find.
Sailing by with the wind in my eye, my young girl beside me, the sun in the sky. Boating's a pleasure, the cuts are a treasure. This new form of leisure is the finest you can find.